congratulations on the child, man. For, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations. I don't think we say it enough at this point, man. Congratulations. And let me use voice. So how's that been for you, man?
Hey, this shit great. I ain't gonna lie. This little bundle of me is it's something different. I ain't gonna hold you. I used to hear people talk about like that love they have for their kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I get that. Yeah, I love my pet dog. I get it. Nah, nigga, I really understand that shit. Like she's one of the main reasons why I'm like really trying to get to it on Kick too. It's like I'm in this new situation. I got a lot more like time to really like get shit going, and to be able to try to leave something for her is the real motivation to really like work hard and really do this. And the fact that she got my sense of humor is fucking hilarious. This little nigga's funny. She only one. She's fucking hilarious. Nigga. Like I be doing spaces, and she be wanting to talk. She ready to talk shit. She can't put words together too much shit, but she really be popping her shit. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. She got a lot to offer.
I still remember when you first hit up the group chat. Yo, I'm gonna be a dad. Domo's gonna be a dad? What the fuck? That was crazy for me. That was crazy for me, man.
Yeah, you can see me. I'm streaming. Oh Lord, okay, girl.
I do have a question though, because I feel like when a lot of people talk about parenting, one is coming from people who don't even have children, and two, people like typically say, yo, like having a children is hard work. It's like extremely hard. So you now being in that position, do you feel like that comment is overrated, underrated, or like just right type shit? Like, do you think it's hard raising a child, or is it kind of overblown?
Say one, I could never say it's hard raising a kid because my child's mother, no matter how much work I try to put in and I'll do, she always has the not upper hand. She always is the one up with me for what she's been able to do and able to contribute and how she's doing. So I always defer to her in decisions. I defer to her in how we doing shit. I follow her lead. So I'm not gonna say it's hard because I got somebody I'm not a single parent. I got somebody to follow their lead. If I'm unsure of some shit, hey, what do you want me to do? How are we about to handle this for real? Because if I don't know some shit, I don't know some shit. With that being said, I can understand why people say it's hard, but I wouldn't necessarily say hard. I would just say it's extremely tiring.
Yeah.
People confuse being extremely tired with, oh, this shit's hard. This shit, it can be extremely tiring, especially for people who do it by themselves. Shit's draining. It literally it can drain your mental, it can drain your physical. It is extremely draining. But I'm not going to say hard because, I mean, there's niggas going out to war. There's niggas literally like doing legit dangerous shit on a daily. There's niggas doing some real life hard shit out there. This shit is just tiring. And I'm speaking as a person, again, who has someone to co-parent work with. I don't have to do this shit by myself. So I'm speaking from that perspective. I'm not going to speak from the perspective of a single parent that had to do it by themselves with no help. I can't speak on that. I haven't lived that. I don't know what to tell you from that. That shit could be hard. I can see why that would be hard. But for my situation, I could never say it's hard. Just can be tiring at times. But I love it. I'm here for the entire process because from frame one, I wanted her. Like I wanted my kid. Like I wanted that. Responsibility ain't the word, but I wanted that. Not pressure. Just I was ready to be like. I was more okay with the term of being a dad before knowing what being a dad was, obviously. But I mentally told myself like, yeah, I'm ready type shit. So mentally I was already prepared, but it was other shit that had to get there.
I also feel like a lot of those people who say that, and maybe I'm wrong on this, those are people that like they didn't want a child when they had a child. You know, like they just weren't prepared mentally. They weren't prepared mentally. They were in a period of their life where they just wanted to be independent, focus on themselves, and then boom, shit happens, and now you have to take care of this child, and it fucked up your plans X, Y, and Z. So I feel like when you're mentally prepared going into it, I don't think it should be a hard thing. You know what I'm saying? When you have the right mindset and you have the right work ethic, and you know exactly what you're getting into type shit. Like, it's not just, oh shit, now I gotta take care of a baby type shit. But
yeah, like me and my BM, we are the same age. Like we went to school together. We were 24, 25 when we had our kid.
mm-hmm.
My mom was 17 when she had me. Like I can imagine for a 17-year-old bringing a kid in this world, that could be hard. Like that to be having to raise a child, raise a little one at 16, 17. Yeah, I can understand how that shit's hard. You're not even grown up yet. Like you ain't even finished growing. You ain't even finished developing mentally, and you have to now be a parent. And you have to be forced to grow up. Like yeah, so I can understand that shit's hard, and it's all perspective. It's context behind it. Some people, they have the full backing and support of their families. Others don't. Some people, it's literally just them or just them in their small circle of friends. So circumstances can definitely change up the difficulty in when it comes to raising a child. So it's real circumstantial. Everybody, it's not like a blueprint to do this shit. It's not like it's the same for everybody. Parenting is just a bunch of niggas winging it, doing what they think is right, bro. Like, honestly, that's all it is.
Yeah, that's why I feel like when people judge how people parent their children, especially if you don't have a child yourself, and this is just like fair criticism to even like when Omar talks about parenting, I think like some of the shit is like a little bit too harsh. When a lot of these parents, again, there's no blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to do the best that they can, and like I don't think any parent is gonna be perfect. So, you know, this thing might have happened and now it's traumatic and it shaped their fucking child the way that they are in a bad way. But it's like, I'm pretty sure they had good intentions. Most of them, at least, you know, they had good intentions and they were just trying the best that they could. So to say that they were a bad parent is kind of extreme. You know what I'm saying?
I try to limit the amount of parenting conversations I'm in now, because one, it's going to depend on who in the room or who in the conversation are actual parents. And when I realize I'm inhabiting these spaces where it's me and probably two other people that are parents, and then all of us have different experiences on what kind of parents we are and how we're parenting and shit like that, and then the rest of the room and the more loud majority are a bunch of young 20s, high teens who aren't parents, who are telling you X, Y, and Z is right or wrong because of this study. It's like, at a certain point, you just gotta it's just not worth having that conversation no more. I realize that. I will say I've grown a lot with like some of the principles and things I thought. Like I remember when my daughter was in the womb, back when I was in Indiana, I was telling everybody, yeah, my daughter's doing MMA, she's playing basketball, and XYZ. And I remember at that time, the question of, damn, you don't want to let her pick, like you just gonna have her do it? Oh well, nah, because I know that this will work and this that, and it took me a minute to realize that is considered living through your kids. Like it's about learning. Like I can't sit here and criticize somebody for being a bad parent when you're learning to be a parent. If you have one kid, nigga, you're learning to do. This is a one-of-one experience raising a fucking child. Like you're learning to do things different. You're learning to do things better. All you can do is do what the examples you had set for you growing up, and go from there. And if you had good examples, all right, cool. But if you grew up with bad examples, nigga, you're already given a disadvantage.
And I think people with siblings understand that the most. Specifically for older the oldest child. Like in my family, I'm the oldest child out of 3. I have 2 siblings, and the way my parents parented me versus the way they parented my first sister and even my second sister is completely fucking different. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at some of the critiques that I had with them growing up, I'm looking at it from the perspective now of like, yo, I was your first child. This is your first time being a parent. So I know growing up, while yes, you were like, in my perspective, too strict in this area, and you was ODing in this area. Now I'm looking back at it, I'm like, okay, again, this is just you just trying your best to be a parent. And like there's a lot of experimentation, specifically with the first child that you have. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the parents, man. Shout out to the parents, man. Shout out to the parents.
Shout out to the parents out there. That's okay.
So you've said, I don't know which podcast, or like conversation that we had, that like when you had a child, like, and you kind of alluded to it too, like certain perspectives that you had on certain shit just like completely like changed. What, aside from like the sports thing, what are some other examples of shit that like, okay, once I had it, like my viewpoint on this completely changed now that I have a daughter?
The perspective of how men approach women and how men operate around women and women's safety. At first, and it's because I grew up a man. Of course, I had a single mom, but at the same time, my mom's a tough cookie. It's kind of different, but she still, it was kind of, it wasn't fitting that. But when I had my daughter and I started working and I started like inhabiting these spaces, especially when I was working at the gas station, and I was religiously around just the most disturbing kind of people, and seeing how like people react to women, how people interact to women, the type of shit niggas are doing around a remotely attractive woman. It made me realize like, yo, women's safety is like, honest. Like we all can go on Twitter and see, oh, X, Y, and Z is missing, or see some girl be mistreated and be like, oh, that's crazy. But having a daughter and seeing some shit like that, it really puts in perspective like, yo, you really gotta be wary of men. Like you really gotta be wary of people. Like looking at it at like probably 2 years ago, looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I mean, look, sis, nigga crazy. Like I genuinely,
He's trying to get some pussy type shit.
Yeah, like, yeah, you, sis, it's not even that deep. Like, buddy is just, you know, he was just trying to flirt.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But after having my daughter and then honestly looking at every woman as if, not only if that's your mom, but take that away from it. The fact that I have a young woman that I'm raising, looking at a random woman on the street or a random young woman, whatever it is, seeing some old creep seeing a 40-year-old run down on a 19-year-old girl 3 years ago to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, nigga, you're creepy, but it's whatever. Like,
yeah,
all right, just say no, man.
Yeah.
But now, seeing a 40-year-old nigga run down on a 19-year-old, I like, wait, what? Yo, get your creepy ass up. Like, I really want to heam niggas up now. Like, yo, get your creepy ass on, bro. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm just like super defensive of women, and it's because like I have a small fucking girl that I have to help navigate through this crazy ass unpredictable world, bro. It just added this new level of like protector. Like I really gotta go crazy. Nigga, I'm terrified of dogs. At my mom's old crib, the next door neighbor, she has this big ass pit bull who, mind you, I've never seen a dog act crazy, but she got this big ass pit bull that's not on a leash. I'm terrified of dogs. In any time in my life I've been presented with a challenge of a dog coming at me, near me, anything like that, I freak the fuck out and I panic. I remember I'm outside my house with my daughter. She's just walking around, whatever. The damn dog came off the porch, and that nigga just, I'm not gonna say charged, but he was making his way over to where my daughter was walking. And that was the only time in my life dealing with a damn dog, a pit bull of all, where I was like, there was no fear. It was no like, I'm scared. I ran in front, got her, like shielded, all that extra shit. It was just split second. I didn't think of it because my only focus is, yo, my kid's right here, and you're threatening my kid. Fuck anything else. There's no other thought. There's nothing else to rationalize. Nigga, my daughter's scared, nigga. That protector mode on. It's like I put on a fucking cape. I went from Clark Kent to Superman, and I ain't got no powers, nigga. Like I just felt like I don't care what the fuck happens. I'm gonna protect my kid. Now, thankfully, the dog wasn't gonna do nothing. It was a playful dog. But that was just a moment that I realized, like, yo, this little girl really changed me, bro. Like, I would have never. There was nobody else on this planet I'm fucking jumping in front of a dog for. I promise you, I'm not. But her, I'm jumping in front of any and everything on this planet to keep that little girl safe.
Yeah, now that's real, man. That's real. I remember another interesting conversation that we had was the unconditional love conversation, and you were talking about like, and I think that's like the experience and like you having a child and me not having one, like that's when like maybe my perspective will change. But I remember like saying like, yo, there is no such thing as unconditional love. Like you might just have high ceilings for the shit, like high tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you describe and the way you're describing it right now, like I think I'm changing my stance on that from the perspective of like, okay, even if that ceiling might be like so fucking high, it doesn't like it pretty much is unconditional at that point. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, and that's what we said in the conversation. It was like, yeah, you're right. It and eventually is a breaking point. But when it comes to your kid and unconditional love, if that breaking point is so like I
you
forgot
gotta
what
be
example I
Hitler
gave. I
for
was
real
like,
type
yeah,
shit.
yeah, you gotta off the whole family for me to be like, yeah, I'm done. And it's like at that point, if you gotta get super extreme, that's when it becomes unconditional. When it has to be unrealistic things that happen for you to be like, yeah, I'm done, that's when it becomes unconditional.
Yeah. Now that's interesting though. That's interesting.